laners, lock in their bot lane and their jungle, and have essentially an easy blind pick for the top lane and a counter pick for Icon in the mid lane. And I feel like they can kind of rinse and repeat. This time, they go for the Varus Rumble combo. They can go for their support on third, get a good matchup for Alley with something like the Gwen up top lane, and then finish things out with the counter pick once more.
And I mean, already having a Varus Rumble instantly makes your team fights really effective. I think Ezreal's a must here. It's gonna have a rough laning phase in the bot lane. The 2v2 you do lose out just in terms of priority and pressure, but I don't think there's that many AD carries that can really survive against this level of sort of team fight pressure. So Ezreal makes complete sense, but I love this adaptation. I love the Leona coming in, especially when you know you're going up against something like a Varus. I said I wanted Patch to play a melee support where you can sort of offer that pressure towards Xiaopeng, and I'm glad to see they bring it out. But you know, as much as I'm happy with what TT have picked, LNG's team fighting is already obscene, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Sett, I think, is in an exceptionally strong position, but also, I talked about the Varus Rumble combo. I think Sett Rumble as a combo as well is also incredibly difficult to deal with. He's so good at just holding you in that position for the equalizer to land on top of everyone. And then, look at these focus bans on towards Xiaopeng with the Nidalee and the Udyr, making sure that Tarzan can have a really nice, easy matchup for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big thing that we talked about before that game one was the sort of player speed advantage you would want to find against Tarzan. With Udyr banned, with Nidalee banned, with Rumble taken, you're actually struggling. I feel like Xin Zhao is a solid option. They have the Lee Sin to flex. Both of those aren't going to clear as fast as the Rumble, and that extra tempo advantage that Tarzan will have allows them to really take over the game.
What do you think about Diana? What if Xiaopeng played something like the Diana? Do you think that could work for them?
I think it'd be pretty decent. I also think that generally the Xin Zhao actually works, despite the fact it's a bit slow and clear. I think the fact that you're looking to dive forwards is pretty strong. Because I think against this team composition that LNG has, you can't form a significant backline. You want to be diving forwards. And I like the LeBlanc here because anything that is immobile or stationary, you're going to have trouble with. So I think for TT, LeBlanc makes sense. And then they actually end up going for the Gnar, so just moving the Lee Sin in the jungle. But this is kind of like an old school throwback. The Lee Sin LeBlanc combo in the mid jungle used to be that sort of premier pressure duo, and should be able to find a fair bit. But you can see an instant response with the Lucian coming in. So I feel like as far as sort of mid lane picks go, Lucian tends to be one that can sort of hold it pretty well. Although maybe isn't actually going to go in the mid lane and could go up against the Gnar.
Yeah, this could be Icon playing the Sett in the mid lane, able to withstand a lot of the pressure that would be able to put down on the LeBlanc. Xiaopeng taking this Lee Sin mid. We all know how comfortable Xiaopeng is on Lee Sin. We know that this is starting to look like a comfort composition for TT. We're launching, playing the Gnar. Xiaopeng on the Lee Sin. Yeah, taking the LeBlanc away from Icon, but Icon quite happy to play the Sett into that. It does feel a little bit like LNG once again coming out of this draft with advantages, and TT basically saying, look, let's try and win off of comforts, let's try and win off of mechanics and make things happen in this early game, which I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this is going to work out for them.
So here's how I sort of see this game playing out and what TT are going to try and do. So first off, that mid jungle, super strong. You want to be able to sort of establish yourselves as getting an advantage there. Look to kill Icon ideally with the setup from the chains, and then be able to get a pretty significant advantage and be able to spread that either top lane or bot lane. Like, you really want to hit the ground running. And then when it comes to team fights, you kind of actually want to avoid the full 5v5s unless you're really ahead, and you want to try and find picks on critical carries, because the unfortunate thing, as we saw in the last game, the early game was okay for the side of TT, but then LNG came strong in the team fights. And I think this is now going to be amplified by the compositions, because you look at LNGs and it's like, I feel like a gold team could team fight on that composition and come out pretty strong. But LNG are team fighting gods, and this composition just makes it so easy. If you end up opting into a 5v5, if you overcommit and you can't get out, you're going to get toasted, you're going to get roasted, you're going to get decimated.
Well, there's plenty of cooking styles that LNG can bring to the table, apparently. I've never heard of decimated. I've heard of desiccated nuts, but never decimated before. So we'll see if this new style of chefery from Aux is going to help out LNG here in game number 2. TT, hey, look, at least they're bringing style to the table, right? We've got a Lee Sin, we've got a LeBlanc, we've got an Ezreal. There is outplay potential here. We've seen Langx certainly have fantastic games on the Gnar before, but it does feel like, once again, these lane matchups are going to look really good for LNG. And Tarzan is going to start on this bottom side. Now, Aux, wait, what on earth is going on? the summer Sett just dancing around. I got six-pack in my face. I want to quickly talk about Rumble, right? He's starting on the bottom side, and I've seen this lots of times. I've seen it in LPL, I've seen it in LEC, I've seen it in LCK. Rumble can level 3 gank really, really well. If you just skip Krugs, walk into the lane, it can be terrifying. And it feels like no top laners basically ever seem to respect it. As Langx, I don't think he's going to need to be level 3 ganked, because Ally's already won the lane.
I mean, I feel like he's going to be dove in this situation. I think, you know, in general, top laners are pretty guilty of this thing where you should know when a jungler is pathing towards top side. You should expect these ganks. You should know the wave number in which it's going to happen. And they don't necessarily respect it and get punished. I think something I was critical of before the series is
we're going for a dive. Guilty. Ooh, Patch takes a lot of damage. The level 2 advantage, getting a good trade here for the side of TT. Sorry, go on. The rude gameplay interrupting your thought.
Langx tends to be someone who's particularly guilty of this, but I think this is a scenario where he's set up to fail, because Lee Sin into Gnar is an awful matchup. Sorry, Lucian into Gnar.
Icon getting baited in the mid lane here. In goes Xiaopeng to try and finish the kill. Off flash forward, and Xiaopeng gets himself first blood onto Icon.
It just shouldn't be happening. I mean, there's no reason for you to play that aggressive on the Sett. The big issue is your lack of mobility here. Oh, Tarzan. Nice dodge.
Misses the first Electro Harpoon. We do have a LeBlanc coming in. Tarzan flashes away from the distortion. That was beautiful. And now Icon comes in. He TP'd into the play, but Tarzan's like, no. Forget the LeBlanc. I'm here for the Wolves.
And this is one of the problems. You give Tarzan a clear speed advantage. He comes into your jungle and contests you. He's done this before in Rumble, where he just invades and solo kills the enemy jungler. Here in a 1v2 situation with the beautiful flash to sort of mitigate it. Things not looking too good for Xiaopeng so far, but he did manage to find that initial early gank.
Look at the solo laners coming in. Yeah, Xiaopeng, Xiaopeng's already here. Sett over the wall. Ally is here as well. Langx is moving in. Tarzan low on HP, overheats, gets the blue buff. Can he get out? Yeah, jumps in. Ignite ticking over. In fact, no, there is no Ignite. Langx over the wall, but surely he's killed himself for this one. Flashes back on out. Maybe TT winning the situation. In they go. Icon in trouble here, low HP. Haymaker, I don't know if it's on cooldown right now. Yeah, looking to make a way over the wall once again. Ally's still full HP right now. He's just walking at them. 1v3. Ally has no fear. The ward goes down into the brush to try and deny vision, but over the wall he goes. Xiaopeng desperately running. Ally against the world. And he comes out on top. But now the fight continues. As onto Icon they go. Xiaopeng gets another kill. And TT come out 2-0. Suddenly Ally realizes he might have gone too deep on this one. Yeah, jumps in onto him. But Ally gets the kill. 2v1.
Honestly, huge there for TT. They managed to actually find the skirmish, and Xiaopeng cleans up so many kills in that situation. A pretty big overstep from LNG. They felt confident with the strength of Lucian, the priority had, but the extended trade, you saw TT just re-engage, find those windows, and able to clean up the kills. Xiaopeng in particular, absolutely stellar on this Lee Sin. You said one of his signature picks.
Flash out from somebody in the bottom side. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a huge wave that's going to be denied. Xiaopeng, though, 3 kills already. Had the pickaxe before the last couple of kills came through as well. He will have a gold advantage for himself, which is so crucial when we're talking about how Tarzan is already looking to invade. That's a 700 gold lead for Xiaopeng. That is so important. And now we're talking about, hey, he's the best player on TT. We've got to see him carry this game. This is the moment to shine.
He needs to keep that momentum going. You have that early pressure. And honestly, another thing to highlight is we saw how bad top lane looked from that level 1. Having a Lucian into Gnar matchup is really bad for the Gnar initially, but because that extra gold influx from that skirmish, because he's been able to get a bit of levels and double buffs, we're now seeing Langx feel a lot more confident in this matchup and able to hold up against the Lucian. So really, things are looking a lot better for TT right now than initially in this game.
Yeah, and not to mention, finishing those ninja tabbies off, or the plated steel caps, sorry. every single time I still call them tabbies, and then I have to correct myself. Makes it a lot easier to deal with the poke that's going to consistently come out from Ale on that Lucian. But Icon specifically, I want to mention here, having a bit of a rough game for himself, because trying to be aggressive in the lane got kind of exposed by Xiaopeng, who it's a little surprising to see Icon not respecting that when the story of early game in game number 1 was Xiaopeng kind of camping the mid lane, trying to get spears onto Icon. So I'm surprised he wasn't expecting that play. Tarzan, though, moving into this top side. I'm going to stop talking about the mid lane matchup because we've got a 2v2 on our hands here. Tarzan just hit level 6, though. This is the moment to make the play. Launching low on HP already. In comes Xiaopeng to try and turn the fight around, and he has some damage and a half. But that's going to be a shutdown for Tarzan. He's looking for a second as well. Doesn't have his flash available. The minion blocks the harpoon, and it means Lucian gets away.
Big difference here was that equalizer being available to Tarzan. The extra level he got from the faster clear, able to really decimate there. And he nearly is able to clear up Langx there, who obviously had his level 6, but didn't have Mega Gnar, wasn't really able to offer much. So actually pretty good overall there for LNG. They get the shutdown onto Xiaopeng, and they can be pretty happy with the state of the game off the back of that. Very even, I mean, dead even in gold right now between these two teams.
Oh, little engage coming out from Icon in the mid lane, and he knows he has the sustain to go for this, but he does have a jungler in his lane as well. Showstopper in, and I'm pretty sure he just saved I'm pretty sure he just got out to safety there, as Tarzan had just arrived, but maybe he was trying to do it in the other direction and just couldn't quite get it off.
I mean, this is game 1 MVP Icon looking... Oh, Ignite's available.
He's going for the dubstep Ignite. He's going for the solo kill.
Wait, is he out?
He gets the quickness. No way does he dodge this. Try to zigzag, try to dodge. Xiaopeng is just going to walk into melee range and punch him in the face. Hey, look, it's stylish. We'll give that one to Iwan.
I mean, you know, I can analyze that and say it wasn't really worth you giving a kill to Xiaopeng for a support kill. You burnt your summoners, but realistically, it's about sending a message. That's the true goal here. And Lwandy sent a message there to, you're never safe. You can never sort of relax in this game.
Yeah, I never thought I was going to see a solo support Rakan dive, but that's what we're witnessing right here. That's the kind of gameplay we're looking at today, as Icon and Tarzan are here to try and contest the Herald. Iwandy's moved over. You can see Light on the way, but that's already a kill onto Ale. And LNG, what is going on today? Icon and Ale both just regularly mispositioning so far in this game, really overestimating what they can do. And they both now have 3 deaths. Look at the scoreboard. Xiaopeng with 6 kills. We got Lucian 202 with a bounty. This is a guaranteed Herald almost.
And the thing is, you know, we normally talk about TT. Okay, they're focusing top side. How's bot lane holding up? Bot lane's doing absolutely fine. There's no suffering going down to Sandy and Patch. So this has been a really smooth early game. The Herald now secured, and TT did. You know, it's early days, but this is looking like it potentially could be a promising game. I'm not going to even go as far as to say a win, but it's a good start.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? With pretty much any other team, I would say this is a win. Oh, knockup comes through. True shot barrage across the team as well. This is looking good. Equalizer's not going to be enough from Tarzan. Yeah, following up on the engage. Tarzan forced to flash. This should be a guarantee. Drake now in favor of TT.
And it just feels like LNG aren't respecting the power spikes of TT, and they aren't respecting the fact that they are behind in gold. It's like they've forgotten about it, and they keep trying to contest, and TT are answering. I'm loving the fact that Patch is on this Leona. You know, the Karma game didn't really see too much of him, but here he is going into these aggressive situations, and the pairing with Xiaopeng means they can find a pretty easy kill. But, you know, I just have to say, this Lee Sin has been absolutely stellar so far this game. You said it yourself, is a bit of a specialty for him, but he has been dominant. And against Tarzan, of all players, it's a pretty high accolade to hit.
Yeah, and to be fair to Tarzan, it's not really Tarzan that's been getting this Lee Sin ahead, right?
Yeah.
It's mostly these solo lanes. Tarzan's like trying to win the jungle matchup, and he presses tab, and he's like, oh, 7 kills on the Lee Sin. Excellent. Glad my 20 CS lead matters this game.
This is kind of like a reversal, because what we typically see from TT is that Xiaopeng's doing good, and then his laners are like completely flopping. And now Tarzan's kind of get a taste of this, because he's in the experience where he's like trying to do okay, and his laners are just kind of sprinting it.
Sprinting it, yeah.
Yeah, running it down. I mean, particularly, I think the thing with Icon is he had such a good game one MVP performance, but here it's just like the Sett play. It feels like there's a lot of times just holding his haymaker and just not using it. It's been underwhelming overall.
Yeah, I am thoroughly underwhelmed so far by LNG. Currently overwhelmed by TT. But in this mid game, my concern is that by TT, I'm just going to be whelmed, right? Nobody wants to be whelmed at the end of the day. You want to be underwhelmed or overwhelmed. Never whelmed. Whelmed is too boring. And for TT, we're talking about how for most teams in the league, we'd be like, okay, this lead, Xiaopeng being this far ahead, this is a dub. But this is TT against LNG. We still have to take the lead that they have with a grain of salt until we see it work out. I don't trust my screen. I don't trust the lead that I see before me here, because it is going to be just under 2,000 gold in favor of TT. When it comes to those mid-game fights, that's when LNG shine.
So I think we need to talk about what TT should be looking to do from here. So they have the Herald in pocket already. They've got a lot of pressure in the mid lane where can instantly set up plays potentially. I think it looks like they're leaning towards top side, but either way, using this Herald, getting the tower and transition it. Oh, Engage comes in.
Here we go. Equalizer onto Langx as well. Ally should be able to survive this one as Langx falls. And Tarzan just goes in, but Ally flashes away from it. Tarzan's the target. In fact, it was Xiaopeng that went in. Lwandy is here to answer, and Xiaopeng, he's got a 400 gold bounty. This would be the perfect pickup for Ally if they can finish the kill, but Lwandy gets the engage. There isn't really any damage to follow it up. Ally is there for him to jump to. Icon trying to chase this one. Lwandy blocking the Q. Xiaopeng trying to get out now. Is there to support the player as well, but he's just showstopper and finished off. Light is now here as well.
He's still up.
Chain of Corruption misses though. Managed to get out with his life. And Xiaopeng now in a 1 versus 3. Flashes out for himself. Can Lwandy close the gap? I don't think he can, because Langx has TP'd up. And TT have somehow got away with this one.
Yeah, they managed to survive. They only lost Langx in this situation, and LNG spent so much time chasing around in the scenario. They're still going to lose 2 plates on the top side, but if we look towards bot lane, this entire time, Sam D and Patch have been alone, catching waves, taking the tower. This is a massive fumble from LNG in this situation, and we talk about them as a strong mid-game team. They really botched that one.
Aux, I'm not going to lie, I'm getting a little bit nervous because we've been talking about LNG. We've been saying this team is #1 in the league right now. And there's been the conversation in the community of, is it too good to be true? Does it keep going? And right now they're losing to TT. We can look like it looked good to start with, but Xiaopeng goes for the ward jump. Good flash from Ally, settles for Tarzan.
I mean, it was a bit of an overstep there from Langx, but ultimately, we just see Xiaopeng being so strong. The damage isn't there to take him down. He ate a full culling, didn't really care. And then in this skirmish, Arley's not doing that much damage here. Icon has a lot of front-loaded damage, but if you actually watch, the distortion comes out. Oh, as I'm saying this, another kill. TT continuing to apply that pressure. So Herald has gone down. They've taken that tower. They pushed the gold lead to 4,000, so they're really far ahead at this point. I want to see them continue to take these tier 1 towers. Bot looks like the obvious option here. It's already low. And once you take those towers, you can push in the side lanes and then rotate across the mid and try and overload the lane and apply that pressure. So TT, this is really where it comes down to it. You have had the best early game you can really hope for. You have a composition that's still spiking pretty hard. I want to see them maintain this in the mid game and not fall where they've fallen before.
Oh my God. Look at this. Player source of gold on the bottom of your screen. He has more gold from kills than he has from killing minions and monsters this game. Xiaopeng is not farming camps, he is farming champions. He's always 30 CS down in the jungle, but that just simply doesn't matter. Aux, I cannot believe I'm actually saying this, but I think TT might be able to get themselves a win here. I think this might be their first game win of the split.
Stop. Do not say that, right? Don't mention the W word.
With success. Maybe it's possible.
I'm hoping, right? I'm believing, but we've had these scenarios before where it's looked good and they've thrown it all away. So just don't mention it until the Nexus goes down. They're in a good spot, okay? They're in a good spot. There's definitely potential, but there's still a lot of game to go. We're only 15 minutes in. And again, LNG, we showed in the stats before the game, they're typically behind at 15 minutes. It's what happens after that.
They're typically like 100 gold behind in 15 minutes, not 5,000. That's not quite the same story.
100, 5,000, who's counting?
And let's be honest, the gold lead almost exclusively on Xiaopeng. He's got 9 kills. Yep. If you take Xiaopeng out of the equation, if he gets picked off, actually the gold lead pretty much doesn't exist in this game. So Xiaopeng has a lot of weight on his shoulders in this game to be the carry for his team, as Ally pushing in this bottom side. And LNG looking to get some of this standing gold off the top of the map. Icon is going to be playing up towards there to wait and catch the wave of the tier 2 in the top lane, as the Herald will go down mid. SamD should be able to finish this tower off. Look at LNG moving across the map, though, to answer this and make sure they don't lose a tier 2, as Icon getting dived. He didn't even have a chance to use his W. He just got popped by Xiaopeng can move up. This is going to be a tier 2 taken.
Yeah, I really like this from TT. They stack the wave, they put the pressure mid, but they just throw the Herald down and rotate up. And again, this mid-jungle duo, I know it's mostly been about Xiaopeng, but the setup from has been really solid. A participant in a lot of these kills, and that old-school combo of the Lucian and LeBlanc really paying dividends right now for TT. And the main thing is we're seeing them continue that momentum. They're 5,000 gold up. They have 2 dragons in pocket right now. If they keep this going, I'm not going to say it, but it's looking good, Joe. It's looking good.
I'm saying it. It's looking like a dub right now, Aux. I cannot believe my eyes, but TT, they might just do it at Icon. He thought he was safe. He was not safe. Was there over the wall. And my goodness me, the gold lead 5,000 ahead for TT. They're in position to finish a game off. It's only 18 minutes in here, though. They've only got 1 tier 2. LNG have their work cut out, but are still in the game. It's going to come down to these Drakes, because the next one's up in 2.5 minutes. And TT with 2 stacked already, and a potential Ocean Soul. If they can stack the next 2 Drakes, they're in prime position to just take over.
Yeah, I think a big thing to say here, though, is we've just seen, first item completed by Icon there. As much as they are behind in gold and items here for the side of LNG, they still have a very strong team fighting composition. If there's an overstep from TT, then we can very much see that equalizer Sett combo come in. We have the Rakan CC, the Chains of Corruption as well. So the main thing is TT wants split fights. They want it to be more skirmishy. They want Xiaopeng to be able to fight 1 or 2 or maybe 3 people, and he can really find that value.
Pulls a couple in. The stun doesn't quite land onto him, and the Haymaker is available if he chooses to press W this time. We'll see. He will walk away with his life here. Yeah, hold him for late game. Hold him for next game at this rate, honestly. Ale push it out in the bottom side. He will be able to go for a reset himself. Can't pressure onto the tier 2, but it's enough pressure that TT have to back away for themselves. Remember, Baron isn't even on the map yet. And they're this far ahead. They have this much control. It's 13-5. And I'm just hoping we get to see it continuing. But LNG have found an opportunity onto here. The double distort and the flash is not going to be enough, because there are 5 members of LNG on the top side of the map. And TT had just gone for a reset. That is a pure overextend from
Yeah, just shouldn't be there. There's no reason to be in that position. The team is fully reset, and it was a good reset as well from TT. Dragon spawn in a minute. The whole plan is you move towards that bot side, establish vision, so just very greedy from the mid laner, and does end up paying for it. I don't think it's going to drastically affect things, because he's going to be back up. He has TP, but that flash being down potentially could make a difference. It really depends whether LNG feel confident to take this fight.
Looks like Icon doesn't want to stick around in the top lane for now. He's worried he's going to have to TP down towards the bottom side. Doesn't know where anyone from TT is. But it looks like they're going to just stick around the bottom side of the map. They're going for the Drake here. I don't think LNG is going to contest this one. They're just going to accept that can't happen, and instead settle for a tier 1 in the top side. To be honest, I kind of like this from LNG, because as much as I think that you need to contest and not let soul point happen, you are pretty far behind at this stage. I don't think that's a fight you can win.
I think a big thing as well, quickness is not available for Lwandy in this situation, having just been used for the pick. I don't think the odds are that great for the team fight. Give yourself some more time. Plus, it's an Ocean Soul, and I don't think Ocean Soul is actually that good for TT, because, and SamD don't get a ton of value. They're pretty squishy. They're not like, I mean, particularly, it's like you'd much rather have Infernal. Even the Mountain giving you that extra survivability. But there's a lot of scenarios I can see where, you know, if you get Sett ulted into a Rumble ult, the Ocean Soul really isn't going to do much to keep you alive. So I don't think it's game ending. We've definitely seen games where teams have lost soul and it's been won. I think it's better to live to fight another day, because one of the big things on my mind is how are TT realistically going to do a Baron? You know, with all the team fighting power in CC of LNG, if you start a Baron and end up in that pit, there's a very good chance you just get wiped. So I think they have to be really restrained, and I think the big thing that you need to continue to do is look for picks.
And I think, like, you mentioned the CC chain available. That equalizer comes down with Icon going in, pulls everyone in. The chain of corruption comes across. Lwandy with the quickness, with the knock-up from his grand entrance as well. You can just visualize how impossible it is to survive that. If Samdi, if Xiaopeng even get caught up in that CC chain. Honestly, maybe even Langx, if he gets caught up, I'm not sure that you can survive even as tanky as Langx is. So it is still possible for LNG. LNG fans at home can still have hope. But the gold lead certainly not shrinking for now. TT are managing to maintain the pressure. It does feel like the game is slowing down a little bit though, Aux. And that does give me a bit of concern for TT, because I feel like the longer this goes on, the more LNG are going to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, gold lead obviously means less when there's more gold in the game in general, but even engage coming in.
Icon is just permanently out of position this game. Will be able to get out with his life here, and actually didn't even have to flash. I'm kind of surprised that he got away with not having to use any summoners there. I guess that's the advantage of Sett. Maybe I'm mischaracterizing that as saying that was out of position. Maybe that's in position for Sett, you know?
I don't know. It now means he has to back off. He's chunked out, and you see this vision control established now for TT. This is what they need to do, because again, we talked about the fights can be a bit tentative, but TT, if they can find a pick before the fight, they look to be in a really good spot. And honestly, as much as LNG's comp is typically like a really easy to execute one, the problem with it is that if you don't lock someone down, there's so much mobility, they're not going to sit in the equalizer for long. And they are actually just starting the Baron up.
Baron being started here. Is TT threatening. LNG want to make the comeback happen. They want to ruin the hopes of TT. Remember, TT have not won a single game so far in the LPL. They have played 4 series. They are currently 0-9 because they lost 1 game in this series already against LNG. And Dan, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Give me some odds. What do you reckon? Can LNG win this one? Can TT win this one? What do you reckon? Is it possible? Do you believe in the TT comeback?
I believe. Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna go all in, and if I'm wrong, I don't care. I believe in them. I believe in Xiaopeng. I believe that he can be the carry for the team on this Lee Sin. And I think, you know, we talked about how the team fight's gonna be strong. LNG is still behind. There's still a lot of areas they can misexecute in the team fight so they don't lock people down. And I am looking at that dragon spawning in a minute 44. As much as I said it's not unwinnable if TT get the soul, giving that one over, definitely going to feel bad. So this may be the window where LNG have to take the fight. And I'm praying the Xiaopeng carry in this one.
We'll see if Xiaopeng has what it takes. We've certainly seen carry performances from Xiaopeng before. We've been talking about how he is really the man of the hour for the squad pretty much every single hour. But some items starting to come through from LNG to play devil's advocate and play the other side of the conversation here. We have 2.5 items, 4 light as this lethality Varus. He's finished stacking his Muramana as well. We've got Icon with 2 items. With the Sterix and the ankle breaker there, he's going to be in a good position in these team fights to just get in, get the CC down. He doesn't have to have a lot of damage. And then look at Tarzan. 2.5 items with the Nightbringer, with the Zhonya's, and the healing reduction as well. And then Ale even has a bit of armor pen to work with. So it does feel like this team is starting to hit its strides. And so much of this is going to be down to Xiaopeng setting things up in the fights.
And what we're looking for in this fight is TT want a split fight. Everyone's a bit divided. You're able to catch those members alone and punish them. LNG want a grouped wombo combo. that simple. Oh,
I don't know if Lwandy is the target that you want to go for. Xiaopeng, he gets the kick off, but he goes down. It is a shutdown to Tarzan. Now, the rest of the fight, the gold lead coming into its own here. Lunching looking to finish more members off, but Icon gets out. It's a 1-for-1. And I'm not going to lie, if I'm LNG, I'll take that any day. But only if you can get the Drake, which TT are moving on to. This might just be Ocean Soul.
Yeah, Patch needs to run interruption. The TP is actually coming in here, but I don't think they can get close. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get close this one. The Ocean Soul secured. Definitely a nice asset for TT, but we saw that massive shutdown go over to LNG. And honestly, we were hyping up Xiaopeng. That was not a good team fight from him.
I think Xiaopeng basically saying, look, it doesn't matter if I die. So long as we could just force them away and we get the Drake, that is all that matters. He traded a 1,000 gold death for an Ocean Drake right there. Ale is no more. He is 1-5 in this game as says yeah, baby. And now over to the Baron can go TT. This is feeling good for them. Ocean Soul in the pocket, kills galore. Feels like they could even pressure on the bottom side as well.
Yeah, who's going to answer? You can see actually Light moving over, but the difference is Longxing and, both have TPs available. LNG kind of spread across the map now. I really love this movement from GT just to apply the pressure. Tarzan, no flash, remember. The blast cone is down. There's not an easy way for him to get over the wall.
And the version of LNG from Spring is rearing its ugly head once again. Now the contest as Icon is over the wall. Patch trying to zone Lwandy. Tarzan can't even get close to trying to go for a spy steal here. This is going to go the way of TT, who are somehow making things happen. Let's take another look. Xiaopeng, I mean, this was crazy aggressive. He just goes in. Yeah. He does not care.
I don't think he had the full context of the situation, and we were talking about locking down a single target. And LNG did that, but it took everything to kill Xiaopeng, all their ultimates, and they had very little left. And in comparison, you look at how easy can kill someone. It's as easy as just hitting WR, basically. It's pretty big difference. And I think the thing with Lucian in his current form is he's just so tanky, but he still does so much damage. Look at these 3 items coming out from Xiaopeng. He's got the Gold Drinker, the Black Cleave, and the Starek. He gets that massive shield, the healing that's obviously critical when you're in the mix with so many targets, but he's still able to essentially burst through someone squishy like Light. It's just really strong right now. You have the Ocean Soul backing up, and you have this Baron. Now it just comes down to TT starting to dot the I's and cross the T's.
The TTs, if you will. We'll see if they can, and one really important thing we've got to quickly talk about, Dan, is if LNG hold on, if they don't lose inhibs just yet, Elder Drake is going up 3.5 minutes. That could be the way that this all goes terribly pear-shaped for TT if they can't maintain control of the map. We've got to see them keep putting their foot on the accelerator and take towers off of this Baron. They've got 1.5 minutes to do it. Patch stepping up and going a little far here. Watch out for the equalizer from Tarzan. It feels like he's the one that has to really step up for his team as we've got to dive on the top side towards Ale, or bot side, I should say, since we're on the bottom side of the map. Longxing about to turn Mega. TT want to push this one. They want to get some inhibs for themselves. The waves will be cleared for now, Dan.
Yeah, and the top wave is pushing in, though. You can see they've stacked that one up well, so eventually there'll come a pressure point where someone's going to have to deal with that, but these 2 waves on the bot side are doing so much. Mega Gnar from Longxing zoning Ale away, and the tower is getting chunked.
Certainly is. This is looking like inhibs. Ale once again goes down. And the solo laners for LNG have just not been able to live up to this game right here. This will be minimum 2 inhibs, but TT might just look for the game. A pick onto Ale might be everything that they needed. He's 1-6 this game as TT looked for more. Xiaopeng has been the man of the hour. Equalizer across the minion wave, but it just won't be enough to clear it. Lwandy about to turn Mega on the back line, and TT might be able to break their curse. They might be able to finish their first win of the LPL split so far. In they go, Mega Gnar on the back line. They're finishing off the kills. Icon tanking up as much as he can, but he goes down. And Lwandy is an absolute monster on the back line. The Nexus will fall, and TT grab themselves a W.
The first Nexus they take down of the summer split, and it's against the #1 team right now. huge coming out from TT, and Xiaopeng in particular on this Lee Sin was an absolute monster. We said this guy was the guy to watch, and he absolutely stepped up for the team. And the big thing is, we've seen him have good games before. We've seen him have good early games, even game 1 of the series, but they're able to close it out. I think the decision making was so much better. I think this team just looks revitalized. And as much as it may only be this one game in the series, it's a big deal already.
And it, you know, it brings a tear to my eye. The Xiaopeng is the guy that really carried that game, that set it all up, that knocked the pins down. And to see him get a win now, to see this go so well, but on the opposite side of that as well, we have to talk about LNG and kind of criticize the solo lanes in this one. We've been talking about how Icon has been stepping up, playing this set. He really was overextending a little bit during the laning phase, getting caught out, and up in the top side as well. Ale had the favorable matchup. It looked really good, but the shenanigans in the top side of the jungle early on, where we saw this like 5-minute skirmish between the two teams in the 3v3, and it so handily went the way of TT. Xiaopeng left that with 3 kills. It feels like it was just almost disrespectful from LNG, where they didn't feel like they had to worry about TT, and they are punished massively for that.
And I think it's one of the scenarios where we've seen this kind of a bit of an inactive early game from LNG, where they don't set the same pace. In game 1, it wasn't a problem. Their laners were popping off. It didn't matter that the early game was slow because the gold was relatively even and they popped off in the mid game. But here was a scenario where their laners made mistakes. And every player is going to make mistakes, essentially. We're not all rookie. But essentially what came from that was we saw them fall behind, and then because they're not active in the early game, it gave TT free reign to push that advantage further. And if TT can do this, I think there's a lot of teams in the league who could be able to do that and expose that weakness. So that spot at the top is looking a bit tentative, even after just this one game.
Gods can bleed, I guess, is the best phrase to describe what just happened right here, because LNG, number 1 in the standings, but now losing a game to TT. It's not a good sign for them, but let's just return to the positives, right, and revel in this victory for TT, because Xiaopeng almost topping the damage there. Yeah, had a great game for himself as well, who I think is a player that really has been not talked about too much. He's not been exceptional for the team. He's not really stood out, but this game specifically, I think he had a really, really great performance on the LeBlanc.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, is it wasn't just Xiaopeng, it was this mid-jungle combo. And I really like that they picked this duo together. It's one of those old school duos we've seen that allow that mid-jungle pressure, and they executed it so well. And to be fair, I gotta give credit to everyone, because I've had criticisms quite a bit for Longxing in the fact that he would fall apart in the top lane, and even with that really bad level 1 start, he managed to stabilize. And the bot lane as well, another thing that I've said, it was like the spinning plates in the warehouse. It felt like they managed to make it a lot easier. It felt like, you know, maybe there was a segue in the warehouse and Xiaopeng could just zoop around and keep the plate spinning, because didn't hear any pottery smashing in that game.
Yeah, 0 ceramic destruction. I'm almost a little disappointed, because I always think it's fun to watch, but yeah, TT managing to hold it together. Good job, guys. Like, I'm proud of you, because especially after game number 1, where we were like, all right, you just gotta make it look good. Two of the laners have already died. We've only just got to the rift. Game number 2 feels like a much better performance. Even that game, though, that early game skirmish got dicey. Ale nearly 1v3'd them in the jungle, but they managed to hold on. The power of friendship shone through for TT. And we'll see if they can keep the ball rolling. We're going to go to a break.